In all of my years of playing video games, making YouTube videos, going to forums to talk to other people of my love for Halo and many other video games, or just straight up talking to developers and get some insight on how they developed the video game, I've never ever expected this type of reaction, this animalistic instinct of doing this type of stuff. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically what I am talking about is that the whole development team of Halo Infinite, as far as I know from what I've seen between Reddit and Twitter, 343 has been doxxed. I am talking about full names, addresses, the whole works of where all their information is literally out. Thankfully, their IDs or anything like that did not get out, like their bank accounts and all that type of stuff. But the thing is, though, I expected this to come out of like the Destiny community or the COD community or the Sonic community. Not the community that I grew up with and enjoyed playing Halo with, learning tips from, basically getting to know these people. But this type of thing where you have doxed the developers of Halo Infinite out into the general public, and thank you. And the Reddit mods that was on top of this trying to like get rid of the stuff, like the doxing before it got out of control, they did a pretty damn good job of keeping this underhand. And I wish I caught some screenshots of people doing that. But then again, I wouldn't feel comfortable enough to share it with you guys on here because holy crap, there was a lot of information on some of the 340 employees that I'm pretty sure they are hiding right now, scared because they're probably going to think one of these deranged people that are supposedly fans are going to come after him. Now, if you guys don't know who Sketch is, he is the lead community speaker, basically, that tells, gets the message between the player base and the developers and stuff. And he has left us a message. I can't reply to every person yelling at me and 343s. Here's so just to share a few final thoughts to take or leave as you see fit. When we have some updates to share, I'll be back. First, I'm going to stress again that I 100% understand and generally agree with the frustrations most are experiencing, even if I don't agree with the tactics and ways in which some choose to express those feelings. I can't reply to every person yelling at me and 343 here, so want to just share a few final thoughts to take or leave as you see fit. When we have some updates to share, I'll be back. First, I'm going to stress again that I 100% understand and generally agree with the frustrations that most are expressing, even if I don't agree with the attacks and which way some choose to express those feelings. Call me a shill, call me a liar, corp, speak, etc. as you want, but I'm never going to lie to this community and never will. I'm not seeing myself or 343 are a victim in any way. That's yet another narrative some folks here have chosen to apply. It's my job to come in here, listen, and frankly take it on the chin. And despite personally being very put off in the way in which many are expressing themselves, still ensure that we are advocating for players internally. We do that regardless of it being positive, negative, and always will. As for Slayer itself, we're still having discussions around feasibility. Yes, this is absolutely a hot topic and something the team is aware of. We would love to have modes and experiences that meet player expectations versus the backlash situation we're in today. I don't believe in anyone at 343 thought not having Slayer was a good idea. I don't personally agree. We owe folks a detailed dissertation on what 343 has been doing the last 6 years, or whoever thought this was a good idea, etc. We have had people working on their asses off for years to try and deliver the best Halo game they can amidst very challenging circumstances, but I will try to at least provide some context for those who are interested. The launch playlists were set up as they were to take a measured approach. We have UI limitations with the game right now in a way a number of playlists that are exposed. We have complex and not ideal progression and challenge systems intertwined in a playlist in modes that are not necessarily trivial to decouple and change. Yes, the entire challenge as progression system needs a lot of work, something the team is accurately aware of and prioritizing. Team's plans for a Slayer playlist I think are more robust than what might suffice for an interim solution. I love the ideas and some of the variants they're working on. Those all requires tuning and most importantly testing. QA is a huge dependency and it's a critical part of the development pipeline that has been running nonstop for months to launch this game. We are reevaluating what it would take to potentially just start with a vanilla Slayer playlist as a short-term addition until the more robust offering is ready. I think the main hurdle that needs to be addressed and may require more time than is feasible before the holiday break is the knock-on effect to challenges needing to also reassess this quick play and what that becomes. Historically, a Slayer-only playlist and an objective-only playlist has always resulted in the objective playlist quickly becoming unhealthy. But maybe we inevitably have no choice but to go down that route until more robust systems are available. Note, I am not a multiplayer or systems designer. It's just not quite as trivial as pushing a button, and at the scale and complexity of this game, and ending every change that could have monumental impact on it in a negative way without the extensive testing. Triangulating these feedback issues and finding what can we do now is what the team is already doing and will continue doing. Everything has been tested, everything has downstream dependencies and knock-on effects, and we're 4 days from a global launch and holidays right after. As far as the notion of this all being a ploy to force challenge swaps, it just isn't. I don't expect everyone to believe that, but while we may not agree with the playlist selection and approach, I'm just going to say it again. Making players have no control and have to use swaps has never been a thing I've heard. Ever. And again, we know the entire challenge system is not ideal, and while I'm glad they've been able to make some interim tweaks to progression pace and remove some of the more frustrating RNG challenges, there's absolutely more work to be done, and this is not ideal version of the live team has in mind. Though more challenging tweaks are coming with the playlist update, details to come soon. I did not really enjoy having to grind through 20 plus games of quick play to hopefully get oddball so I could hopefully win 3 times to complete a challenge, or having to get 10 Ravager kills. Is this week's ultimate reward of just an emblem really worth the grind? There's a lot of work to do. We are all in agreement there. A few more changes are coming this month, and I hope we can start to lay out more robust plans after the break. Not everyone likes that Infinite is a free-to-play game and thus has a new business model based on monetization of customization. I understand where you're coming from, especially with a 20-year established franchise with a long-standing legacy. Free-to-play has been a huge boost to growing the player base, and we've seen a huge amount of new players entering the franchise for the first time ever. But this is a business. The servers you play on cost money to operate. The studio that develops and maintains the game costs us money. Battle Pass and premium customization is the model for this game today. Is there any room to continue assessing the overall economy and value for players? Absolutely, and that's also an area the team is constantly monitoring and learning. The creation of cosmetics and the Battle Pass have absolutely nothing to do with something like a playlist. That content was created years ago, is static, and wasn't done instead of playlists. Was it a priority to make sure this game could in fact generate a revenue? Of course. Basically, he kind of finishes it up and wraps it up with this. I'm starting to ramble here, but the main TLDR is, for what it's worth, we're going to do what we can as soon as we can. If things do not meet your expectations, then I'm sorry you've been disappointed. I'm confident this game will continue to get better and better. All these issues are fixable. I also realize that some players are just going to not play anymore. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. I also know and want to be very upfront and honest that the pace at which bigger changes are brought to bear will absolutely not come as fast as many want. We have some problems for sure, but I'm really proud of the foundation the team was able to deliver. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's your prerogative to play or not. I'd rather have people who are passionate, they're yelling at us, than nobody caring at all. But I just ask that people please take a breather here. Understand there are human beings behind this who put years of their lives into just trying to make the best experiences they can. Do not rush to judge or assume that you've got it all figured out. And with that, I fully expect to be blasted from here out. But hopefully for some, this post helps provide a bit more context. Have a great weekend, everyone. Not only is 343 getting death threats and possibly DDoS too from what I'm seeing, and I've seen some DDoS and I've seen some information, like I said earlier. Some of the content creators are getting death threats, possible DDoS too. I mean, look right here, it's saying right here. It's absolutely insane that the community that I've grown up with for so long acts like this. I completely understand where you guys are coming from. I am so sick of these companies prioritizing the cash shop over their own damn game. I kid you not. Out of all the times that I've been playing Halo Infinite for, if I'm looking at my record right, for the 72, 76 hours that I've in total in game have played Halo Infinite, I have not had one technical issue with the cash shop. But with the rest of this game, I have had like disconnects, glitches where I jump out of vehicles to do a cool little stunt. My gun would disappear. I would fire a rocket at an enemy and the rocket would just straight up disappear. And if you don't believe me on some of these glitches that do happen, let me show you the rocket one where I did find another person was having trouble with it too. Let me show you this.
Oh, that guy has a fucking torch gun.
Or I'm going to show another gentleman that was having the same problems with the vehicles and the grappling hook when you're trying to jump out of the thing and do a cool little trick.
Fantastic work, Spartan.
Here I was thinking we were doomed.
Or what about one of my favorites is when the game is lagging so hard or the hit registration or whatever it is, the netcode is not working and you get screwed over this hard like my friend Smokin' Joe. I've had more on one occasion these glitches happen to me, or the network problems, or just some stupid mechanic that decided just not to work. And I understand where the rage and the outpour is coming from. Completely understand. But sending death threats to death threats and DDoSing the developers, it ain't chief. It's not something you should be doing and stuff. The best thing that you could possibly do to send a message to them is do not spend any money on the battle pass. Don't go to the store and spend money there. Don't even play the game. Just vent your frustrations until they decide to fix it. Because let's be honest, at least 343 is getting off their ass and at least trying to fix these problems. Now, like companies like Bungie, it takes them like a year just to fix any problems that are within the game. So you know what? I'll give 343 the time to fix these bugs. Because you know what? At least I trust them more than what Bungie can do. And if you really want to send a message to 343, just stop playing this game and stop buying stuff from the cash shop. It'll send them a message, trust me. Because the higher ups, which will be that will start freaking out, they don't have the cash flow coming and stuff. Trust me, they'll start panicking. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. You guys are absolute chads for just sitting here, listening to me rant and rave, and hopefully I'll have another video out this week that's a little more positive versus, well, this mess that happened. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Later.